All right. Hello, everyone. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah.
So, I saw your emails, of course, and I think today's goal is to get everything squared away so you guys can get started on the designs, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're gonna make it a brainstorming session. So we're gonna go over the design, the journey map, and just prioritize some of the outcomes that we talked about last meeting, and yeah, just kind of finalize style guide and whatnot. So we can get going on the high fidelity. Start working on that.
Okay.
We can also use this whiteboard as well for our brainstorming. Just getting it ready.
Perfect.
As we're prioritizing, I can pop them on there so we can be on the same page with that.
Awesome. I'm gonna try to share the journey map on my screen.
Yeah, that'd
I
be
haven't
great.
had much luck with that before, so let's see.
And I just want to say with prioritization that we're focusing on what will create the most impact, what's going to create the most ROI, the biggest return on investment. That's still within our means and manageable to accomplish for these high fidelity designs. But also with that too, as we were speaking about a bit last week, we can definitely experiment with a bit of A/B testing too. So if there's two different things we want to play with, we can make both of those designs and play with that as well. So this is a lot about experimentation right now and getting all the different ideas out there, but nothing has to be definite with what we decide today.
Okay, here we go.
Can you see this?
Yeah, kind of.
We got a little bit of glare. I can read it off too.
Yeah, it's fine. You can always just snap a picture afterwards and send it in Slack.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, so just like we talked about last week, the biggest columns that we're going to need to focus on are representing clear information about what's in the cohorts. That's what I see as the biggest thing. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts too. But the prioritization of clear communication about what's included, what's required in the cohort, and then the second part is the CTAs and signing up too.
Yep.
Okay, put that on here. Yeah, I'll just send a picture afterwards of this, like you said, because it's too difficult to.
That's fine. Okay, so what are our options? I mean, I think everything we talked about last time, I think we were already in agreement with, right? That it needs to be done. So, where do we look at? Like, what are our options? I guess is the question, right?
So we can start with the page requirements for the cohort. So we can explore different options there. So that can be all on the first landing page. We can create the story down that way. We could also make a separate page for that as well.
Yeah, definitely a separate page, I think.
A separate page, okay.
Because always keep in mind that there's already the peer groups as well. So we're gonna have to have the same thing for that. Like, and if it was one landing page, this would already blow up. So I think actually here, let's start with what your advisor actually said as well. Let's transform. So goal number 1 is transform the website into a landing page, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to find my notes from that meeting with him.
And
Yeah.
with that too, he spoke about having a really big hero image.
Yeah.
You know what that is,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So we could also think of a picture or a video that we want to pop in there too, and these pictures are going to create a lot more human connection, which is what co-starting is about as well.
Yeah, I like that. So that's a good start. So actually, first of all, yeah, landing page which tells a story, right? I think what our the thread through this entire thing now is through this next milestone for you guys is our goal should be that the outcome tells the story, the complete story, and we start doing that with a powerful hero section. I agree with that. Above that, but that's just kind of more of a side note, is like I agree with we should have a navigation menu some way, right? I'll leave that up to you a little bit to play with. If that's just gonna be like your standard like 3 or 4 things on the upper right, like home, cohort, peer group or something, right? Or if that's something else, if you guys can come up with something kind of nifty, creative, I'm open to that, right? Because I think our fallback could always be, okay, well, we have these 4 menu items on the upper right, which there's nothing wrong with that, but just so you guys know, you guys can kind of, I give you some creative leeway there. Then the hero section, I think, is good. Now, question to you guys, how well versed are you guys with video editing, both of you or either of you?
I've done a bit of editing during previous projects I've had. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but yeah,
okay. So, or at least let's do it differently. Maybe I think a sub goal of the hero section is what is the content of the hero section, right? So, what do we think about the content there? I think we already talked about the video, right? I think that is a good one. And that video, maybe you don't need to produce it, I think at all. Actually, that would kind of kill the time. Yeah. But it would be great if you kind of want to take a stab at a suggestion. And I don't know how you want to approach that either. Pick some of the elements of some of the videos we have already and kind of stitch this together, just like on piece of paper, like this element from that and this element from that. And then I can pay someone to actually, or either myself or my wife actually is decent at video editing, produce that. But I think the question we have to ask ourselves, or I guess what hopefully you guys can try to take a stab at answering is, what is the video going to show, right? The content for the video. So we have content for hero section, and then also content for video. What do we want to show in that video? Which I think, of course, it's a shorter version of what we want the landing page to show, right? Which is the benefit and the passion and kind of like the hero video, I guess, should be the hook, right? It's like, oh shit, stuff's happening, right? Like if I just see this short kind of looping video, maybe, and I don't know if it's a background video or if we're gonna have it like in center with a play button. I don't know yet. I also look towards you to kind of make suggestions on that, because that changes the content for the video, I think, significantly, right? If we have something with a play button, it could be me talking, versus if it's in the background, it's probably no audio. Interrupt me anywhere where you think, okay, that's not the right direction. But I think that would be cool. Now, besides the video, what else do we think we want in the hero section?
Well, in regards to the video, I'm not able to do any video editing. And
yeah, not editing, not editing at all.
Well,
Just
as far as choosing what the content is, I think that you just named a lot of great points as well. And what Rafael was talking about as well with showcasing you and showcasing your passion, I think that's a great idea. And if there was a way to integrate you speaking with spilling out that passion that you have, with then integrating some of the testimonial clips from other people and weaving them together to create that story of showing what is co-starting as a whole, what are people going to get from co-starting. So I think that's exactly what would be.
Yeah,
Yep.
me and you are on the same page. I was thinking the exact same thing. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I agree with that, right? So let's keep that in mind. And if you guys want to look through a little bit of the content we have, and if you see snippets which you think would be good fit, let me know, and then I'll get that produced.
Okay.
Again, right, that might be the last step of that video integration into the landing page. It's fine to have a placeholder for that for now, because that will take probably as long as your designs to get that done as well.
Okay, so that's a good point. So do you want us to have that placeholder, or do you want us to create another design where there's an image? You'd rather have, because how long is this video going to take? We could also do one and just put an image in there.
Yeah,
so you could use it sooner than later.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. Let's try to come up with a design which works for both, right? And I think either both options we just mentioned, if it's a background video, we can have a background image. If it's an embedded video, we could also have an embedded image, right? As a matter of fact, usually what happens anyway is that on desktop, the video might play, if it's the background, for example, and on mobile, you usually have an image. You usually don't play the video on mobile. So we need anyway both.
Okay. Great point there. Okay. Okay.
And then, and you already see kind of, we're right from the beginning, we got ourselves into that A/B track, I think. Yeah. It's like, okay, is it background? Is it not background? And let's maybe just keep on that and think forward, right? So now there is a video. Maybe it's in the background. If it's in the background, what else do we want? Do we want a strong message, like a strong hero message and a call to action? That's kind of where my head goes. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think a strong caption, just like 3 to 4 words, maybe 3 to 5 words, just like a hook, a title or something, like a caption, and then a call to action as well. And then also like ask or attain more more information, click here as well.
Okay, what does that one do?
So sign up would be the primary, and then secondary one would be like either something floating or a second button with more information.
And that would just kind of slide down a little bit, just a scroll point.
Yeah. Could
learn more.
Yeah, it could be that, or it takes you to a different page. Either slides down to where it gives you more information, or a different page, or it tells you to sign up or subscribe to an emailing list, something like that.
Slack community.
Yeah.
Coffee hours.
Yeah. So, okay, I like that. So I agree with the sign up, of course. So the one button should be a sign up, which goes to, again, the wait list, I guess right now is what we have. But
yeah, we need to talk about that as well. We could wrap this up, but we need to talk about the CTA.
Yeah. So sign up wherever that leads for now. And then let's call it learn more for now. That might be doing something else later. We don't know. So that is in case of a background video. How does it impact us if we have a hero video which doesn't autoplay in the middle of the screen? Because that impacts the layout significantly, right?
But what I heard from you saying before is that image or that video, that's if it's not playing, we'll just make it more of an image. I guess I don't understand.
Yeah, but still, if you have a player,
Mhm.
the call to action for the video is the big play button in the middle. If you have a background video, your statement and the two buttons are in the middle of the screen.
It could also be automatic. That would take up a lot of that may take up a lot of time to load as well, but it could be one of those automatic videos as well.
Yeah, but then what's the advantage versus the background? You can't have an automatic one if there is audio. That's just annoying.
Okay.
I think speed is key as well. I think a lot of people, they have short attention spans, so the buffering time needs to be quick. So whatever optimizes that.
Mm-hmm.
So how about, because there is a lot of different companies, which of course I don't remember the names now, which come to mind, which do that differently, right? Like the background video, actually that's one of the things we did in my last company, and that's good. But I do feel like that passion video, we call it, is the second option, which maybe it's the top half of the hero section, which also is that message and those two buttons maybe, right? Or something like that. And then the bottom half is just the, like, it looks like a video player, but it's kind of cut in half, you know, like there's the next section already. It kind of floats in the next section, but you still have the button, the play button. And that could be the, like, learn more kind of thing. And then it has a modal popover of the video and playing, me talking, giving the intro, whatever the video does, we don't know yet.
Sven, would you mind possibly, like, if you have paper by, do you think you possibly, should have talked about this before, like sketch out what you're talking about? Really rough?
Yeah, you can try.
So we can visualize that, like just like pen and copy paper. If you have any thick markers, that would be better because I'm not focused on the fine lines of it.
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
it's going to take me a while because, you know, design
more
is
of the idea. More of the idea, really rough, like it, like take like a minute type of thing.
Yeah, I mean the problem is I don't know what the
I can also try to sketch that out too from what you were just talking about. On I have another whiteboard I can sketch that out on.
But yeah, I mean, let's move on. Actually, I can give this to you afterwards. Otherwise, we're not going to get through nearly half of it, probably.
All right.
But anyway, the bottom line is, I think this is probably actually going too far if I give you already design suggestions, because I think you guys are better at that, right?
Well, we all have great ideas.
Yeah, but still, like, I think it should be your task, right? So I give you two leading points. One is with background video. One is with the passion video. It's what we call it, right? Which is a player. And I'm sure you find examples of the differences. Background video, no audio, versus a video with audio, not autoplay. But I think generally I mean, at least that's a question for you. Do we agree that we want video, message, and buttons all in the hero section? Is that like in both cases, or do we want something else there?
That's a lot. So that's plenty.
No, not more. Is that it? Do we agree on that or no?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. I think I agree. That's enough for the hero section.
Well, with the message, what do we want our message to be? Now, do you want it to be a reiteration of what the mission is? That's a lot what's on the site right now is about mission. Or do you want to more establish value very clearly, what people are getting from it?
That's a good question. I think value, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think value, yeah. I mean, the messaging is something we can play with quite a bit then too, right? Like if you want to come up with like your first shot based on value, what you would think, and then we can kind of iterate on that. Like the actual words, once we have a rough cut, I think that's going to be iterated on fast.
Okay. I mean, because that's essential. That's one of our main goals of this entire project is that clear messaging.
Yeah.
So it's pretty important what the content of that is.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So if we were thinking to do a video without audio, just real quick, it would have to visualize something, and it have to make sense. Like people would have to know what they're looking at, or else it'd just be like, what's going on?
Of
Like
course.
the video has to make sense, but I think audio would be better, just because if it's passion, you want to hear it, you know.
Yeah, I tend to lean towards that too. I think I agree with you there. But yeah, just think about let's leave it at that. Like I agree. I think that would be a worthwhile thing to have, how that's laid out, and then of course how that's laid out on both mobile versus desktop is probably a little more difficult than the background video.
Yeah.
But the content would be better. I agree with you.
Yeah. Let's see. So you're saying it could be either autoplay or the call to action could be playing the video?
Well, a call to action, right? Like in that case, if you don't have an auto playing video, which certainly we can't autoplay it with the audio on, that's just extremely intrusive.
Yeah.
If we autoplay it without the video on, then the call to action would be like click on the audio button, right? Because we want them to hear it. So I don't know if that's better, because if it's already playing, you kind of skip over that fact. It's like, oh, it's already playing. Because we are primed to this now with scrolling through Facebook or something, you don't need audio for most of the things anymore. So I want to make sure we don't lose them there. So it's probably better not to autoplay it. But again, this is just totally gut feeling here. So I think then in that case, we have almost 2 call to actions, right? Which makes that's why I'm thinking that section is significantly more difficult to design that way than if we just had a background video, but it will be more impactful.
Well, we have the 3 main points here: the video, the caption, and the CTA. It's really hard to speak about these designs. I think what we're going to have to do is do brainstorming sketches.
Yeah.
To see where it's all going to fit. That's why, like, we definitely need to get down on some sketches and brainstorm that. And we could even do that together, because that's the thing. We can brainstorm sketches together. There's an exercise called Crazy Eights, where you do 8 different designs of trying to get at one idea in 8 minutes. So you just really rapidly try to flush out those ideas. But yeah, that's something that we're going to have to.
Yeah, you guys, I would love that. If you guys want to do that and then just send them over like on Slack or something, you know, like as you do it, that'd be cool. That'd be super cool. And then I'll try, if I'm free, I'll try to give you, real-time feedback, or as soon as I can. But
okay.
Would it be quick to do like a sort of a demonstration of like what would a background video be, and then what would an auto playing video be, and then show it to like Slack community or something? Would that be something quick, or would that take a bit of effort, and that we should leave that later on? What do you think, Sven?
You from an implementation perspective?
Yeah, just like a demo, just to test it out.
Well, I thought that's what we're getting from you guys, the demo. Isn't that what the outcome is going to be?
No, just like the video aspect of it, just to see if the like we were talking about, the auto playing or a background video would be better.
Yeah, but I don't think we can test that with the community if it's just from the elements, because what they are going to look at is the look and feel and what are they receiving from this test. So unless we have both done with both contents, I don't think we can ask them which one is better, because they're not even going to have the video, which like is either in the background or in the other box, and they don't know what information is coming at them,
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, this is something we can look at after we create designs and see if there's different designs of the same concept we can test afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so moving on.
Let's talk about CTAs. Unless you had something specific.
Well, I was gonna try to go from
Okay.
top to bottom what we want on the landing page.
Okay.
So we have the hero section. What's the second section? And we have one CTA at least on the hero section already, right? Which is sign up.
Well, and we could say the CTAs for a second, but basically what we need to discuss is there's a big difference between waitlist, join, and sign up. And right now, all three of them are the same. And so we need to make that different for each of them. If you're going to have a waitlist, we need to make a waitlist. If we're going to have a sign up or a join, which are the same thing, we need to have that separately.
What are you talking about, the page itself? Because I think we have to talk about that, but that's in a minute. Like, we need to first figure out which ones do we want to push.
Yeah. And the waitlist could be learn more. So let's talk about the story and the flow of the page. So it's all about, in the story, you're just like we all know what stories are, in creating stories. So we need to go through the flow of that in a natural transition. Yeah. So if they're going to be first the hero image in the video and gaining the value from that, how much is the value going to be expressed there? So then people are going to want to know, do you want to jump into more of what the requirements are for the cohort? That could be the next call to action. Or do you want to go into mission?
No, I think not for the cohort. Cohort is a separate page. Has to be a separate page because otherwise, again, like I said in the beginning of the call, otherwise there's going to be cohort, there's going to be peer group.
Well, a call to action to learn more about the requirements for the cohort, because that's what we need to funnel people in, is to getting into this cohort. So we need to find a way where they can go and see what's more into the cohort. Look at those requirements.
I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I think and maybe this is actually what we need to talk about first, is what is the goal of the landing page? I think the goal of the landing page is to get them involved. And right now, I think they have 3 methods of getting involved. They can, actually 4. They can join a cohort. They can join a peer group, which of course that's less defined still, but I know that's going to come very, very soon. Right after you guys basically are going to be done with that. That's next. They can join Slack, or they can join a coffee meeting.
Okay, so what's the most important of those 4 goals for you? Do you want it, the most important is overarching, get involved, but to keep co-starting going, you need to have more people in these cohorts. Wouldn't you think, or do you not? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a really difficult question because they're all really important. Now, short-sightedly, I would say, of course, anything which people are paying for. But that might not actually be the best thing for co-starting as a whole, because in order for the community to work, right, there needs to be a critical mass. Therefore, you could argue, well, just joining in any way, shape, or form is great. But that impacts the funnel, right? So I think this is difficult. It's difficult, yeah.
It is difficult, yeah.
So maybe, okay, so how about this? We have the landing page, the hero image or the hero section. I think the point of the hero section is gonna give a hook, right? Like that video and the content of that is the hook, is winding up the excitement of all of the things that are going on. Like, by getting involved, you're gonna be the next, you're gonna feel so great, whatever it is. But not exactly what you're getting yet, right? It's just like all of these things are going on, like you should consider getting involved, maybe something like that, right? And then the next section is, well, so now what is it? And it is a community, and it has these 3 aspects today. Does that make sense? Because then we kind of like, right, we say, okay, hook, overview, and then from that overview, we have these, we can go into the different angles. I almost see this like, I don't know, three columns or something, or, you know, the 3 elements or the 4 elements of co-starting.
Definitely. That was that clear messaging. We need to really clearly state what is it. And so when you say those 3 things, are you talking about group, Slack, and coffee? What are your 3 elements you're talking about?
Cohort, peer groups, Slack, and coffee. Yeah, 4, I guess.
So 4. Okay.
But maybe the coffee and the Slack can be combined like some point near future.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know yet, but let's for now think about it as 4.
And okay.
So this is what it is, right? And I'm just gonna describe it how I see it, which is probably a terrible design, but right, like, okay, there's 4 words, right? 4 big headlines with like a short 2-sentence description of what is each, and then a learn more to each. But that's probably very, very naively not very good how I just described that. But do you guys see what I mean? Like, right, it's like cohorts. Cohorts are blah, 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 blah. Peer groups are blah, 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 blah.
With CTAs below them.
Right, like, I mean,
I see that.
Again,
that's a very common design right now.
Right, more of a corporate image would be, like 1 column and then a learn more in the text. I don't think that's what we're going for here, but that's kind of what popped in my mind.
Just off the top of my, I'm thinking something like right under the background video or whatever hero image would be like these 4 different things that you're trying to get them to join, just like a kind of a brief sentence under each one. So like, join cohort, peer, Slack, coffee meet, and peer group, and then under each of them is like just a brief little description or a statement or sentence, and then under them is a call to action like learn, browse, or learn more or explore, something like that, to take them into that other page where there's more information.
Yeah. How about, as you were just talking about this, I think what we can do there, and this goes back to your question, Liz, what's the most important one? What about having a layout which is half of the section focuses on one, which is the important, and then the other half is to the right of it. It's like other ways to get involved.
Is this what you guys are talking about too?
Something like that.
Title, text, and button. And so then you're saying right now, emphasize what the most important one is? Yeah,
kind of like a half split screen, half is peer groups, right? Like real big, like literally a different background color, I almost like, I don't know, see like black, like really have this focused. Mm-hmm. So difficult because it's mirrored screen. Have this focused, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, like the 3 above each other, kind of. But again, like this is kind of just how I'm thinking. But I think for that, this is the what is it section now. That's at least what I called it in my notes. Mm-hmm. And it highlights the 4 elements we have. And I think with 1 being in focus does make sense. And then we can still think, or this could change over time even, right? Maybe in a half a year from now, the peer groups are actually the ones which are in focus. We don't know.
Yes. And so the ones in focus, to get on the same page here, is cohorts. That's our,
for now,
That's it. Okay. And so I might be wrong here, or maybe I just didn't say, but peer groups aren't on the website right now, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah.
Which is why I want to at least start bringing them in, because we're kicking off the first Italian peer group tomorrow. So we already have 2.
Oh, you are? Okay.
There is nothing of that, right? It's all just
exciting.
Kind of backroom talk, Okay.
Awesome. So we'll also have to think about what that text is going to be, and we can play around with some stuff. But how we want to break down what that text is going to be. and we can come up
Yeah.
with some ideas, but
Yeah, just come up with a suggestion and we iterate on it.
okay. Yeah, that'll definitely need some iteration.
Okay, so then we have those. We have to talk about what's behind each call to action, of course. So I think since that is now the what is it, there's call to actions. We have the section for cohort, which is in focus, where we have much more room to describe that, right? So that one would probably go to then the cohort page, where there's the requirements, there's the details about the cohort, everything about the cohort, right? What do you get in the cohort, not just an overview. Same for the peer group. For Slack, it could literally go straight to the Slack invite, right? Where you can now join. I don't think we need a separate page for that.
No.
And for VCM?
VCM?
Virtual coffee meeting.
Virtual coffee. Okay.
Sorry. VCM.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What do you guys think? Should we have something to explain that more, or is that just also going to the... It should probably be at least a page where we see when the next one is upcoming, maybe showing the last ones, something like that. You know?
Also, I was gathering from the Slack community, there's a certain agenda for each coffee meeting.
That's just starting, but that's a good point.
Okay.
I just talked about that actually with one of the cohort 3 members, literally before this call. And that first one last week was the first one, the one you were on, where it was kind of like a fireside chat, right? But that's a good point. So yes, then it probably does need a page for that, where we see like upcoming topics. Maybe that could be like suggest a topic, you know, something like that.
This could also be its own section within the first page. We could create its own little section further down too. That would be another possibility.
Yes, I do like that. Maybe that is even the next one.
Because that might be difficult to have a whole page for it.
It
could be a smaller page.
It could be a smaller page, or like a modal, you know. Like a calendar or upcoming topics.
Yeah, we could definitely, I think it'd be good to do some research on how other places do these virtual coffee hours, and we could look at some designs that way, get some inspiration.
Yeah, there's a ton of that stuff out there. Okay, but then what you just said, or this part of both of those things, sparked what I would suggest maybe as the next or the after that section, which is what's currently going on. Like recent events or upcoming events, I'm not sure, something like that, like something which makes it feel okay, it's vibrant, live right now,
alive.
right?
Yeah, there's events going on, I can go to these events. I
don't know if I want to have it like events focused, but you know, it could almost be, you could almost try to play around with this, like you know, I always say the nuggets of wisdom, for example. Maybe there's like a revolving kind of, you know, quote of the week or quote of the month or nugget of wisdom, like this week's nugget of wisdom. And then, you know, other things that happen. And now I'm thinking, because in the section before we had the split screen, maybe we kind of carry that kind of format forward. Although I would like a section in between, which is full width probably for that. And then the split screen changes. There's one focus on the right, which is like something we want to highlight right now, right? Like, or a community highlight, I think that's like empowering what's going on, like not just co-starting, right? It's like, here, these are noteworthy events, noteworthy happenings. Someone raised money, or they just launched, or look at this great conversation between Ray and Paul, or you guys see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that would be something that would have to be, oh, sorry. That would be, have to be updated a lot, it seems like, as well.
Yeah, that probably, so that would need to be built into like the CMS. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that yet. But feel free to ignore the technical side of things. This, of course, need to be automated somehow.
Yeah, I love that idea. It does make it feel more alive and vibrant.
Right.
Yeah, pretty
It's
much
like,
what you do on Indeed, right? Not Indeed, on LinkedIn, where you kind of put up everybody's successes, everybody's stuff like that, right? Like when your wife presented her idea for 2 pages, the clothing thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like that.
It could almost even be like a slider, you know, somewhere, either on the right or left, there's like a slider of like the cool things which happened this week, this month, whatever the time frame is, doesn't matter. And that could be either quotes, that could be videos, that could be her pitch, right? It's like, here, look at this. Who pitch someone just gave. Almost like a news section, but not news, you know?
Yeah, news,
News feed, yeah. And I like having it all in one, and it just slides, like automatically just slides over to the next.
Right, yeah, every few seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
And then now the question is are the testimonials part of that section, or is that something else?
Yeah.
No, it's something else.
Something else.
I think something else for sure. Because they're not always. Yeah, they're always going to be getting new, testimonies, but they're kind of set and standard, and we should set that standard on its own. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that should be the end of the story, the testimonials, how this has worked for people, and pull out those some text of what people were saying in the videos.
Yeah. Okay.
But this also brings another question when you guys are talking about, I'm thinking, it's great how you highlighted the cohorts, and then you can go and see their different companies that they're creating. So,
right.
I'm just going to pop up the website while he's gone a second too, and just kind of look really quick here, because
how I did it is not great for sure. He's coming back. Wait a second.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened.
All good.
Yeah, I agree with that, Liz. I don't know if you just heard that still, Marwan. Like the highlight off. I think that's part of that section we just talked about, right? I call it the highlight section, and it has some sort of news feed or like a community highlights.
Update.
And maybe it also has like the broader things, which are, currently active cohorts, open peer groups, right?
Okay.
Like something like which you can actually, now you are at this point, hopefully, with the section. And I guess we can, of course, slide these sections around if we need something else before. The order is not set in stone here, of course, but let's make the assumption now you're knowing already. It's like, okay, this is, okay, I see what's going on here. I made my decision maybe already. And now it says, oh, cohort 4 is ongoing. Well, let me watch that. Or it says, cohort 5 starts in a week. Ooh, urgency. Let me join that right now.
Yeah, I think this is good. Because it isn't clear right now what's currently happening. So it'd be good to highlight that, especially with the build in public.
Yeah.
Because it's emphasizing that.
Currents and upcoming is what I call it, I guess.
Current and upcoming. Okay.
Because I think like that sense of urgency, right? I think that was a good one too. Like, like only 2 spots left for peer group, the Italian peer group, right? Or 7 days until we start cohort 4. And that's where I look a lot to you guys, because this is now lots of pieces of information, how that's going to be arranged. That's where you guys are the experts. I'm not going to really put my agenda forth on that.
The only thing with that has to do a lot with psychology, like you got the sense of urgency and whatnot, but it can also be misused, so we got to be careful with that. You can't mislead people and lose their trust. Like, you can't be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna end in 2 days and it's there for like a week.
Oh, no, it needs to be true. Yeah, of course. Transparency and honesty is, of course, part of the values.
And the truth here is that you are vetting people, and that you are choosing people if they're going to match what the group is. So the application process in itself.
Yeah, it wouldn't change. It would just basically, like, if you are now at the position where you want, like, you might almost be ready to join, right? That storyline, like, okay, it's like, so far this sounds great. Now you see, the next one actually starts in 2 days. Maybe I can still get in, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the intention here. I mean, maybe not, and then you'll join the next one. That's probably okay too. But I mean, it certainly works. Like, there's a company called AppSumo, where early stage kind of products are released with like a significant discount. They usually have like lifetime discounts, like you pay $99 forever, right? But it only lasts a week, right? And you're like, I'm not really ready to make that decision yet, but maybe I'll just do it. And I love that, by the way. Yeah, that part, that should be probably part of the most exciting for you guys. Like that, where the psychology really comes in, that's where you guys can play with it.
Yeah, but like Marwan said, it's also a fine line to walk too, with being transparent without getting people into something they don't want to get into.
Deceptive.
Well, that's marketing as a whole, right? Like, don't be pushy, but nudge. Okay, so we have that. What else do we need for the storyline on the landing page?
So with the cohorts, the way you right now on the landing, on the main page, you can look at cohort 1, cohort 2, cohort 3, and then when you go in, you can see the different organizations they have, and then you can look more. Do you want to change that at all, or this might be a lot of this might take up all our time to do this, so we might not have time to change the layout of those cohort pages.
No, yeah, the individual cohort page, I agree. Don't worry about those. That's okay. That's like 3 steps down.
Because it does look pretty good right now, I think. I mean, there could be some change, but
yeah, that does need to be touched. But like, again, that's like 3 layers down. So we have landing page, then we have cohort, right? Which that gives the overview of what is the cohort, and it gives maybe the overview of past cohort and upcoming cohorts.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you click on one of those, don't worry about that. I think I agree.
Okay.
I mean, hey, if we are faster than we intended, great, we'll touch it, but probably not.
Well, the only thing is, we can then talk about this too. Do you want us to change like the style of the buttons at all or anything? Because then we'd have to, make that consistent within the website. But we can get into style a little bit right now too. We could talk
yes,
about
of course. I mean, I'm expecting you to come up with like a full redesign. Don't just use what we have now and kind of jumble it around, because I don't think you're gonna do yourself or me a service by doing that, right? Like, don't feel limited.
Mm-hmm.
What Marlon presented last time, definitely look at best practices. This is just me. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I think we're kind of sticking with the touch and feel a little bit from the color and all that, right? But other than that, no, I'm not married to any of that.
Okay, so we're married to the color. People liked the color and the unmoderated stuff too.
Yeah, the color, the logo. I mean, we can get into that in a minute here as well. You guys wanted to go over the guidelines, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's this discussion. I would like to leave the color in the way, right? Like orange and white, or that there's that darker gray somewhere, I think, as well. So those are the three things. That is in the branding guideline.
Okay.
Those would be my suggestion. However, if you need something where you have like a scale, right? Like the scale of the orange, or if we have like gradients or something.
Yeah, we'll do gradients for sure with it. Yeah.
That I'm totally open to that. It doesn't need to be so monochrome.
Okay, awesome. Gradients are great because then you can stick with that color scheme and do it and play a lot with the hierarchy and do a lot with it.
And even if you want to look at like complementary colors or something, feel free to do that. Come up with suggestions.
Okay.
I have tried it with these, color like picker tools. It hasn't gotten me anything I liked. Like it was very extreme, kind of like a in your face teal or something, like it was a bit much, I felt like. So that's why I stuck with the white, orange, and the darker gray.
Well, even
actually, I think the gray we have here on our name tags, I think, is that gray.
Then that could be a secondary as well, like gray.
Yeah. But again, I like to have the orange somewhere, as the core color. The rest, I'm open to whatever is good UI.
Okay. Well, definitely, I think be changing the buttons because right now they blend a lot within the background.
Yeah. So now we have that. One more feedback was how to get in touch, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I was actually thinking as the last section, because kind of the contact us is always often on the bottom. So maybe, unless I'm missing something, I'm sure I am, it's like testimonials and then contact us or get in touch, and that could be a whole lot of cool different things. It doesn't just have to be a boring contact form. I think like how to connect to that LinkedIn group, like Twitter, other than maybe just the buttons even, right? I don't know, maybe the Twitter feed. I'm not sure.
Okay, we can look at inspirations.
Yeah,
with that.
What I'm saying is also feel creative there. I think that's hopefully that's at least the fun part for you guys, right? Where well, it's 3 buttons, great. So, do we miss any major sections then?
I think we should review the journey map really quickly and just kind of like go through and if we see any points that we're like, oh, let's talk about this too. But to go back really quickly again to the sign up, join, and the wait list, do you want to have those two options, have a wait list, or that's the learn more, a part of the contact us, learn more, and a wait list, and then a join separate?
I think it could be different.
So since we have the second section, which is what it is, which has all 4 elements, I think we can pick one as the main call to action, which is like on the top, I guess, that one, right?
Are you talking about our section of 4? Because the call to action with that section we were talking about before would actually be, this call to action would actually, for cohort, would bring us to the cohort page.
Right.
It wouldn't be, it wouldn't be join.
That's correct. But still, we have all 4 options in that section, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which they learn about.
They like.
So, is the only question of the call to action button in the hero section, or somewhere else?
What I'm asking is if to have a call to action button on the first page that's going to say join a cohort, or sign up for a cohort. Because that's what we really want to get people to funnel to that as well.
Yeah.
And so one section that just has that somewhere where people can know from the first page they want to join.
Yeah, I agree. Let's make it join.
I think that could be on like the top bar. like on the top right.
Yeah, like it is right now, I think, right? Join the waitlist or something. Yeah.
Oh, top bar too. Marwan, that you're saying that's like fixed as well. So when you go down, it stays up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
meetup is like that.
yeah.
We could play
Yeah.
around with it, but just the point I'm getting at is that you do want a button, a call to action button that's join/sign up, but like one phrase for that. That's
Yes.
going to take you to the form. Okay.
Yeah, and
And
I
then-
think that's the same one like on the hero section, right? Like so far for the hero section, we said we have sign up and learn more. Because we need to decide on where does what go and what else do we need.
Wait, can you repeat that? You said there's a sign up and learn more on the hero?
Yeah, that's what I wrote down, right? We have the message, we have the video, and then we have 1 or 2 buttons.
Sorry, I'm caught up. It's getting a little jumbled. Yeah, that's what I have too. Okay.
So is that sign up then is going to the same place, right?
Yeah,
Also
that'll go to the application.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. We've gone through some good things. This was good.
Where is the learn more go? That I'm
Yeah.
still a little undecided about.
Maybe in the contact us, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Wait, what part? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
The
This
learn
hero
more
section. So
And
in
what
the
is-
hero section, we have video, we have the message, we have sign up, and we have learn more, right? Maybe we don't have learn more.
I mean,
learn more is just keep
could be like-
going.
could be like an icon or something that just follows you. It's like it's small, but on the bottom right of the screen, that just follows you. You know
Yeah,
what I
but what does it do? The question is, what does it do?
Oh, it just if you click it, like a box can come up, and then you could sign up to like a mailing list, or it could take you to another page, but
Yeah, we might need to remove. I don't know. Also,
I
do
think
you want to?
okay. So for now, I don't know if we need this. We probably are going to end up removing it. But for now, because we don't have an idea for the content, unless you guys come up with
Yeah.
something over the next week or two,
Yeah.
let's just make it a scroll point. Learn more just
Yeah.
goes to the next section.
Yeah.
And then we have the possibility to maybe do something else with it.
And so were we removing waitlist? There's no waitlist anymore. Do you want to have waitlist back in the contact us?
No, I think sign up is fine. Like what happens in the background is basically the same thing, but I think it's more it's more tangible if it's not a wait list. I think it's just you are signing up for the next one.
Okay.
Because actually the wait list is not even doing me a favor, because now, okay, it's like a half commitment. I still have time to bail out, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd rather optimize the process that once they do sign up, I actually know, okay, they are now committed to the next one. I mean, unless something crazy happened. But waitlist is like, maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Okay.
I just remembered what I was thinking of with the
Yeah.
the button on the bottom, right? It's not more of like something specific, like learn more about cohort or learn more about peer group, but it's like more of a kind of a text box type thing. So like they can write you a message for a specific question, or it sends you to like a Q&A.
Yeah. FAQ is a good section we need somewhere. We need somewhere frequently asked questions.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay.
So actually 2 things here, right? So we need an FAQ section. I don't know where that's going to be exactly.
Yeah.
But that should probably be like, you know, one of the folding FAQs. You have like a few which are like closed, right? Somewhere in that landing page flow, probably toward the bottom.
Yeah.
I think. And then what you were saying right now, Mohan, what we can do for that, the easiest, it's free, I think, even what we used before that in my last company is Crisp. It's a chat bot, right? Because that's another good one to get in touch. It's a chat bot on the lower right.
Yeah, that's
We could also do like with a chatbot or like an inquiry form with Learn More.
Yeah, no,
Just at
I
the
think we'll
bottom.
do the chatbot for that. I think that because that is super flexible. I can make that like with suggestions, some of that like most common things you can already pop up. And then you want to ask the founder or something, that can be an option, but then it will come all through the same channel to me. So I know I only have to monitor this one channel.
And you're talking about like an AI chatbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Crisp. Crisp is the one which is free, I think.
Okay. Whoop. I'm going to take a look at our timeline right now.
Chat. 2 seats are included, yeah. Okay. We always need more time, huh? I think I need to make sure I always have like a half hour at least blocked afterwards, which today I have, but are there any other pages we need to discuss still? What's on there? Of course, the peer group page you can ignore. You don't need to design a peer group page. That's just going to be in the menu somewhere, I guess, and on this what is it section. But don't worry about the content for that one. That's just going to say coming soon, maybe for now. Okay. What else do we need?
I'm just looking at the schedule right now. I think we do need to change it just a little bit. So just to go over that briefly. So Marwan and I are going to do about 8 hours of sketching and then about 27 hours for the high fidelity mock-up. So that is 35 hours. So so we have that we're going to submit it by this Friday. That was kind of with like adding 2 days from last week too, when the schedule was originally made. But we're here, going with the iteration of how we're working.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you had it by Friday.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, to be.
Maybe a first draft, right? Maybe,
yeah.
But like, let's put it this way. I think what would be probably attainable and great to have is if we had a draft we agree on Friday, and then the high fidelity comes after that, right? Like meaning these are the elements. This is like the layout, all of the sections. These are the elements on all of the sub pages. This is here. We need a chatbot. We need this. We need that. Right? Like have all that sketched out. Maybe have the colors. Have all of the elements which you then need to turn it into a high fidelity. Ready. Like maybe you did one section and okay, this is going to be the look and feel. Do we agree? Yes, great. And then all of the rest is maybe just sketched out. That's probably more realistic.
We'll just have to keep June 3rd into our mind. That's our last session. And afterwards, we do want to throw it into an unmoderated test.
Oh, yeah.
Which we can probably carve some time off of that on our end. We've already done one round of the unmoderated testing, so we know how to plug that in here. And we could probably carve some time, and we want to leave a little room for iterations after that. We can also carve that off at the end. We can take that away, the iterations.
Okay.
Or we can move faster with this, test it, and then iterate.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I think then, well, let's try it. Let's push as much as we can and try to get what we talked about today together. Maybe the first page, right? Maybe the landing page can be together, and the other pages, all of the subpages just sketched. How about that? Because then we have at least the core of it is ready. And then as we move forward with that, we can finalize the other pages. So kind of have it in two stages, right? Like the landing page will move forward into the next phase. And then while we are testing that, maybe the other pages are going to be finalized, something like that. I'm not sure.
We can only test. We can only do one thing at a time. You sound like you're talking about a bit of like agile framework here. With the other
yeah, but I
pages,
mean, if while there is testing, like you're not sitting there with them, right? Like that's what I mean.
The test comes pretty rapidly within a matter of hours.
Right. But we're not saying we're testing and then we're not doing anything in the meantime, is my point. Like there can be things done in the meantime. Like as soon as the test's kicked off, we don't well, I don't know, maybe we do need the entire page ready.
I think
actually,
that we
bottom
need
line, I'll leave it up to you. Like I don't really care. Like if you want to iterate quicker, that's fine with me. If you want to just do a full draft and present that as a whole, that's also fine with me. But the danger of that is if there are iterations, it's going to be more work, right? So smaller iterations is going to be more beneficial for you guys.
Okay.
And again, remember, we don't have to be locked in on those check-ins. Just send this stuff in Slack. Let's do async work, like as you have it, asynchronous. Like we don't need to just make decisions when we're live. We can actually make decisions as you have it. You have something here. How does this look? Great, terrible, good. This way, that way.
Okay, well, let's definitely do that. And I think that we should change our goal. We definitely need a goal for when we're going to be done and start testing them. I think that we should just switch that goal to next Wednesday, the 26th.
What was that goal before?
It was this Friday, and we were going to discuss it on Monday.
Oh, okay.
But to just switch it then to the next session that will be done by the 26th to discuss on the 27th. Then we can throw it into a test after that. Like on Thursday and Friday, we can throw it into the test, and we can iterate the beginning the following week. And then we have time for our presentation that, we can also carve some time off of that presentation, because I think you're knowing as we go through what the value of this is as well.
Yeah,
so I think that would work.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Marwan,
is there are you guys doing a final presentation of the project at Springboard as well?
We're doing our case studies.
Okay.
Do you know what a case study is?
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but yeah, like why I'm asking is because it would be great to kind of get that or be able to watch it, or however that's done there, like I would love to see your final presentation, not to me, but to, what is it that you guys now accomplished? Yes.
Well, you could definitely see our case studies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Give some feedback for us too.
Yeah, I would love to. No, seriously. I mean, that's the point for you guys, right? It's not just to make me happy. Hopefully you also get, as much value out of this.
Yeah. The point of this is definitely to go on our portfolio. So definitely check that out as well. But yeah. But awesome. we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right. So what I can do is I'll take a picture of my notes, which, I mean, I don't have the most terrible handwriting, but it's not the greatest either. And I will post it in Slack. so that you kind of see my notes, if they help, maybe.
Liz, you think you could take a picture of that board?
Yep. I'll take it
Yeah.
and post it in Slack as well.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, I hope that you can read the chaos that I put on there, but
I like
so
color
the
code.
other thing too is, like you asked me if I can sketch what I had in mind.
Mhm.
If you need me to do that for any of the sections we talked about, let me know. But I think it's better if you guys think about what you would do first, because again, you are the experts in this, and I actually don't want to preload you with what I think, because that might not be best, right? So I don't want, don't feel like you need to do what I would have done at all.
It's more that we all have these great ideas, and if we all do brainstorming sketches, we can pull the best elements from what everyone provides.
Yeah.
But
you can, I would be happy to do them for wherever you need it. Keep it simple, but I think it's probably better from a time perspective if you just lean on best practices, right? Like what's out there, what what's currently being done. Maybe try to be a little bit futuristic, not too much, that's always the trade-off. But yeah, and then if you say, hey, we are well underway, can you give us your take on X? Then I'll do that. That's the async, right? Just let me know whenever you need something to get faster. I'll try to do that.
Okay. Should we do this through, just keep communicating through Slack too? You seem to respond quite quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Whoa.
This is super exciting now.
We both said awesome at the same time. I don't know if you caught that.
Because it is. Very good. Yeah, I can't wait for this next stage. This is going to be so fun. Because I am very anxious to get this website updated, as you can imagine.
Absolutely.
And just one last word with that. We're going to be doing this in Figma. And if there's any way, again, you can get us into card.co, let us know, because otherwise,
like I said last time, you just make an account. It's free.
But get into co-starting's card.co.
No, that doesn't work because of the paid features. Like you would have to have a paid account.
Then basically, we're just going to have to do it by eye then. Marwan and I were talking this morning about this. And yeah, we're just going to have to do it by eye then on Figma. If we can't.
Like what would you need from the login, I guess?
And I'm new to this. This is the first time that I've done this. So, but basically, if we could take that design and then import it into Figma. Yeah.
No, you're starting from scratch. You're starting a new design from scratch.
Yeah.
But all you need is the colors. You already said you're probably changing the buttons anyway. You have the logo files. You have all of the assets.
True. Okay.
I think you would import it and then end up basically changing it so much that nothing's left anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
It feels like it gives you a kickstart, but it doesn't in Figma. Like that's how Card works, right? You start with a template. I started with a template. Looks nothing like the template now.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and from last week we talked about, can you
share the unmoderated test?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
I don't know how either, but I'll figure it out.
No rush on that. And then if you guys want to add me to Figma as you work, that's another option, to just tag me there and ask questions. That's also, of course, fine.
Okay.
Excellent.
Word.
Great. Okay, Marwan, you and I will be talking.
Yeah, everyone has their marching orders.
Okay, well, have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
We'll talk soon.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.